questions do we have? Let's get together, everyone. Let's get together. There's no bad questions. And feel free to say what you want. Throw things. You can throw some fruit if you want over there. Ron will provide tomatoes. Throw if you want. Whatever you want. Let's say, what makes no sense? What problems, difficulties are there in this story? Let's hear. What do you got?
Why he said it in the first place?
Meaning why what?
Why he even say it in the first place?
Who?
The rabbi.
The rabbi. Arlene's question is the bomb question. I mean, I went to rabbinic school. I even taught in rabbinic school. We're not taught there. The first thing you do when you meet someone is you call them ugly. We're not taught that. You know, that's not part of the curriculum. You know, hello, sir. You're very ugly. It's not part of the curriculum. You don't do that. A normal person doesn't do that, let alone a rabbi, let alone this rabbi. This rabbi actually, according to many opinions, the question who he was, according to many opinions, this is actually none other than Rabbi Elazar ben Shimon, who was the son of Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, who wrote the Zohar, who revealed all the Kabbalistic wisdom, who spent 13 years in a cave hiding from the Romans with this son. So according to that, this person is a giant. And he goes around calling people ugly? Making sense. Good question. Very good. More questions. Questions or answers?
Well, if he is...
Effie, I'm going to hold you to... You want a question now or you want an answer?
Question.
Good.
If he is that same son, then hasn't he had this problem before? Didn't they have a problem when they came out of the cave?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Effie's bringing up another discussion that actually there is a story in the Talmud that when Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai and his son came out of the cave after 12 years, they saw people acting in a very normative way, and they were so shocked that people were not more spiritually enlightened that they started burning the world up in a certain sense. They couldn't take it because God told them to go back in the cave for another year. So yes, they had to go another year to get it together. So if it is Rabbi Elazar ben Shimon, then yes, somehow there may be a connection with that. Yes. Questions? Don.
Anything that meant by ugly? Did we mean ugly in appearance?
Okay, we'll have to see. What does ugly mean? Good question. What are the questions? Emily.
Well, he uses the verse conducted humanity
Right. Which one is it? That's it. Good point. Very good. Good piece of evidence. Marcy.
So I had a problem with the fact that the man, the ugly man, was upset with the rabbi and told him you have to go ask Hashem for forgiveness.
Yeah.
And then he turns around and in the same way insults the rabbi, basically calling him ugly in front of a whole group of people, which is even worse than the one-on-one interaction. And that's supposed to somehow be okay. The fact that he basically called the rabbi out to all these people, this is your rabbi?
Wow.
There should be none like him. He's so ugly. He's such a bad person, or whatever.
So, okay, that's a good point. So in other words, this guy who is so insulted, yet he is not really getting the lesson himself. Aaron, look, I hear. All right.
Isn't he sort of, you love your guy?
Yeah.
Isn't he sort of saying, why don't you go to God and ask him?
Right.
Why he made it?
That's right. And what's the rabbi's response to that? What does the rabbi respond once the guy says, go tell God, go tell the craftsman, the rabbi saying it must be referring to God, the craftsman who made it makes all these things. What's the rabbi's response? But we did. Now, what is a question? That's pretty quick of you, Rabbi. Really good. That's on the ball. You call someone ugly, you say, oh, you're so ugly, and then when the guy says, go tell God I'm ugly, he says, huh? I shouldn't do that. Good morning. Hello, Rabbi. How come he didn't know before? Now all of a sudden, Larry's saying, the guy calls him and says, go tell God. But how does that all of a sudden awaken the rabbi to the idea he did something wrong? He should have figured it out before. Somehow the rabbi is like shaking up the statement, go tell God. Okay, now what's the big deal? Now
God made everybody. God made everybody.
Right? So what did the rabbi think before, and then what do you think after? What was the rabbi thinking in the beginning?
Well, he was just out to lunch at first.
Too many margaritas, that's right.
It's like Adam and Eve before they needed clothes. It was like Adam and Eve before they needed clothes. They were just spiritual. And he's so spiritual, he's not used to being with people.
Very good, we're gonna talk about that, beautiful, we'll talk about that. Very good.
Especially, I was going to say he had been so away studying with his rabbi that he wasn't in the real world, basically.
Very good. That's very important. Let's get some more questions. You guys are saying great, we're gonna talk about that. Jason?
Okay, so beginning with the end in mind, going to the end. See how can I phrase this as a question? Why?
That means it's an answer.
Right. Why would a rabbi, if I equate soft with weak
Yeah.
and hard with strength,
Yeah.
why would a rabbi say that we should be weak and not strong?
Okay, that's a good question. Let's get to the statement, be soft as a reed and not hard like a cedar. What's he trying to say with that? Is like Jason is saying, he's trying to say be weak and don't be strong? Is that what he's
I
saying?
think it's how we respond to people,
Okay,
and how we respond to other
okay.
people.
You have to be softer in how you respond to other people.
Even though you may feel hard, you have to act soft because God made whatever it is that
Good,
you're
very
responding
good.
to.
Feeling that, good.
Well, actually, a cedar can be blown over,
Okay,
but
all
a
right.
reed will go with the wind.
That's taking my whole class. Just about leaving and I'm going. Thank you very much. I just took the whole class. Thank you very much. You come back from Israel, you learn the whole class. Very good, very good, beautiful. Okay, we'll talk about that. Yeah, what, Michael?
The rabbi's gonna be flexible, like, you know.
Yeah, but I want to before Lynette just gave away a lot of it. I want to just I want to pretend it didn't happen. But I want to answer this. Soft. If I was writing it, I would say you should be soft as a marshmallow. He didn't say that. That's what you were thinking on the right lines. He didn't say soft. So marshmallow soft, and that's what Jason was hitting on before. The softness is why is it not a marshmallow? Why is it not a, I don't know, Play-Doh? Why is it a reed specific? Yeah.
Strong is weak and weak is strong. You know, cedar is very strong, but in reality,
Beautiful.
to be weak,
Okay.
it's easy to broken.
Okay. Beautiful. Saying very good.
Very strong.
Right. We're getting very good. Very good. But let's say, is there any more things that bother us before we get the answer? I always say this. I always repeat this point. But it's an important point. We're coming to Passover. The law in Passover is you have to ask the 4 questions, right? What is the law if you have a table full of 85-year-old sages who have been learning since they're little and they master the entire Torah? What do you have to do? You get the guy who is 84 and a half. You say, get up on the chair, buddy, and ask the 4 questions. And the guy throws up there. Why is he doing that? Why is he doing that? Just we all know the questions and you know the answers. And the reason is, this is the point here, in Judaism there's a concept. You cannot get an answer unless you first have a question. You cannot understand an answer unless first there's a problem bothering us. Once there's a problem bothering us, there's some hole, there's some opening to receive something, and you're open to getting it because you have a question, then the answer fits in. So everyone's saying very good, but are there any more questions? You said great, but there's a couple more things that I'm still bothering me. Yes?
If this guy had a lot of self-respect, why was he so desperate? You know, why didn't he go running after the person and instead of realizing, all right, I made a mistake, he said no, he can ask a couple more times, but he seems very desperate.
He's desperate.
And if, you know, we didn't realize he was a caveman, but we thought that he might have some lack of social skills, because he seemed like he was the son of a famous rabbi, and yet he really didn't have enough interaction with people to actually get this feedback here. So we were talking about that before.
Right, right. Good point. Rachel, you have
It was actually similar, which is that we're required to ask forgiveness 3 times.
right?
So
he asked enough or he didn't ask enough?
well, that's it. I mean, he's chasing after him.
He's chasing
over
after
and
him.
over
He
again.
can't.
So,
He's
like,
running after him, yeah.
So, you know, at what point, you know, why didn't he simply say enough is enough?
Right. Okay, very good. Mayam.
Yeah, just I guess to add to that is why didn't he actually go to God and, you know what I mean? Why didn't
he really is ugly?
Yeah, no. I mean, I made a mistake. You know what I mean? Like I made a mistake.
Well, I'm going to answer that one briefly because the rule is you just know that if someone hurts someone else, you can't hide behind your religiosity. If you hurt someone, you can't say, God, I'm really sorry I hurt this person. That's very nice. You got to say sorry to God. You have to go to the